We're here with Ankur Prakash from Tata Consultancy Services. I would first like to follow up on some of your comments about the competitive advantages that Latin America brings to the outsourcing world, and why specifically you think that Latin America is can be effective in delivering in these areas such as agile development.
Sure, Bob. As we discussed in the past and during my presentation also, Latin America brings some inherent advantages. For example, proximity. So it's an important parameter. Cultural affinity, visa-related constraints that other parts of the world have, cap on the visas, and also the cost of living in Latin America is definitely in such a way that the rates that we can offer to our customers are much more competitive as compared to US directly. So those inherent advantages definitely come in the mind when we talk about any engagement, whether it's agile development or it's a run-of-the-mill maintenance of an application or some quality assurance and testing or a knowledge process outsourcing. Mm-hmm. So those are the inherent advantages. And on top of it, Latin America also brings, because of its association with a lot of industry-centric situations, industry-centric consolidations of different companies and presence of different companies in different industries across Latin America. It also brings in that particular knowledge, industry knowledge on the table.
Specific
industry knowledge on the table, which coupled with the IT knowledge can be a much potent option, a weapon to address some of the business needs of the customers.
Are you investing specifically in training your staff in Latin America in areas such as agile development or development that that involves very privacy-sensitive areas? Are you investing in that?
Absolutely, Bob. See, whenever we recruit anybody, we ensure that that associate or that employee goes under the training for the next 12 weeks, 3 months. No job, it is 100% dedicated to training, where we teach not only agile development, we teach some of the basic things, we reinforce some of the soft skills, we reinforce some of the technology related skills, and depending upon in which area that employee is going to work or for which customer that employee is going to work, we also give some overview about the industry of the customer, the objective of the projects, the engagement, etc., to make that person as much as business ready once he or she is out of the training.
Mm-hmm. And that brings me to the question of you and TCS have obviously been playing in the global delivery space for some time, which requires things like very specific and consistent processes. What have you learned about global delivery in that time, about how to do it right?
See, Bob, as you know, we in TCS, we are the pioneers of global network delivery model. We were the first company across the world that put on the table to the customer to execute an engagement from multiple locations and not only on one location. So when we talk about global network delivery, the word network is very important. You can have a global delivery. That means that you execute one project from one continent and you execute a completely different project from a different location. That is not global network delivery model. Global network delivery model is when we execute a complex, large engagement and project from different locations, leveraging the best of all the worlds. Mm-hmm. So if we need some same time zone overlap, we execute that project from Latin America. We need some high-end specific skill which is not yet developed in other parts of the world. We leverage that particular part of the world and execute the project, that part of the project from that particular location. And then ensure that there is standardization, methodology and process behind that to support the integration such that it doesn't become a spaghetti for the customer.
It sounds like you're almost taking a portfolio approach to your own resources, both human and technical, inside the company.
That's absolutely correct, Bob, because there will always be situations where you might have a particular resource available in one particular location. There will always be situations where a particular situation is more suited for a business complexity or a business environment as compared to some other. So why can't we utilize all of that? Why can't we utilize each of those idiosyncrasies to our favor and deliver better results to the customer?
And over time, are you able to shift the parts of various jobs among your delivery centers more quickly? And is that also something that customers are asking for, kind of that real-time shifting as conditions change?
Real-time shifting is one that directly impacts the productivity. We have seen that if we introduce Latin America or Nearshore into the equation of on-site and offshore, on-site traditional and traditional offshore, we get on an average 14 to 15% productivity gain. That directly implies that your time to market for the customer is reduced. So obviously the customer is happy, we are happier, we can execute the project much faster, so which means we can utilize our resources for a next project, next engagement. So overall it's a virtuous circle.
Virtuous cycle.
Virtuous cycle. So everybody gains, it's a win-win situation, and obviously that's the reason that the customers are asking it for more and more. And coupled with this, there is risk mitigation in terms of not over-relying only on one location, and all the other inherent factors that we talked about in the beginning.
Okay. And as we look forward, where do you see Latin America in, or the Latin American outsourcing industry in 5 years? How large will it be? What types of services will it be providing? And also, how will it be seen by the customer base as compared to today?
See, if we still have a long way to go. Currently, if we talk only about nearshoring, we are less than $1 billion in terms of numbers. And the offshoring market only in India is more than $60 billion yearly. So we still have a long way to go. And we have to stop comparing and contrasting all the time offshore, nearshore, India, Latin America, China. We have to stop that. What we have to do is something that TCS has been able to do, that identify what works better in what place. Leverage that for the customer, deliver better results to the customer. And if we can continue doing that, rather than getting into a mode where I have to show the other location as down so that my location comes up, I think that is not going to take us anywhere. Rather than infighting, we should be aiming for collaboration. And there is so much that India will be able to complement to China, China will be able to complement to Mexico, Mexico will be able to complement to Brazil, Latin America, etc. That we don't have to have this kind of infighting. The pie is large. There are so many opportunities. Everybody has a role to play.
Okay. Now, won't though the customer always look for the lowest price, and that will always be a factor. You almost seem to be saying that in the future it can be a win-win world, but doesn't someone have to lose out on the basis of price at some point?
No, I don't think so.
Or does every area have an area where it can win and still make
exactly.
a fair profit?
So what this is going to entail is, anyway, all the locations are going to grow. There is no doubt about that, because wherever I go, whoever I meet, all the customers, there is a plethora of opportunities on the table, where there are so many opportunities that sometimes we don't have enough resources to take care of those opportunities. So opportunities are always there, and it's only going to increase. So all the locations and all the practices and all the models are going to grow. The point is, whoever can master how to utilize which model in which particular business situation, that particular company or set of companies or those particular customers are going to be the standby gainers of all this that is going to happen. So if you see our model in which the on-site offshore traditional model remains intact, but we introduce also the Latin American flavor. We also introduce the nearshoring in that particular traditional model, and we are able to reduce the total cost of ownership for the customer by more than 20%. In a lot of cases. So I think that is what we should all be aiming to, rather than only saying that only this is going to work, only that is going to work. There is not going to be one such solution. We will have to have a collaborative model where each part of the model is going to play its own role.
And the final question, does your picture include a place for delivery centers in the US, in Western Europe, in other relatively high-cost areas that traditionally are thought of as outsourcing work to other areas rather than them being outsourcing partners for someone else?
Absolutely. I'll tell you why. It's not, cost is definitely a factor. Nobody is going to deny that, and all of us, we have to live with it. Anything, any innovation, if it is not commercializable or it is not cost effective, it is not going to come into the market. So that is a fact. We have to all live with it and adjust our models in such a way that we have the cost leadership also. As far as the US-centric or Western Europe-centric delivery centers are concerned, definitely we will need that. Maybe the scale of those delivery centers might not be as high as compared to the scale that we might have in India or in Philippines or in China or in Latin America. But definitely we are going to be needing that. But if you analyze the world maybe in 2025, after 14 years, there will be 3 major countries where the working population is going to be coming from. And those countries are India, US, and Mexico. Because all the other countries, they will start having aging population. And the working population percentage is going to decrease. Only for these 3 countries. And these 3 countries will be providing for almost 80% of the world working population beyond 2025 and 2030. The incremental population.
Understood.
So, I don't think that that's a matter of concern. That is going to remain. We will definitely need that. We will definitely need that to complete the whole model, and it might continue being a very low scale as compared to some of the other centers which are in this part of the world.
Very good. I thank you very much.
Bob,
Enjoyed
thank you
it very
much.
much.